Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
Even if it wasn't Hitler, German's the first thing you're going to hear? It's not a very appealing language to hear first.
Yeah, kind of just sounds
It's not a very romantic language.
puking.
Suspend the show right now.
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Welcome to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio, saving underground music. 216-859-8699 is that Rebel hotline. You can text in at any time or leave a voicemail for any of your shows. To my right is Shani.
Hey, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Hello.
I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Style. Now, I've been out of high school for a while. We've all been out of high school for a while.
Yeah,
we talked about last week how we're very old now and out of touch with all the hip young kids.
Yeah, I think
Skibbity Rizzler.
I would hope that we are closer to being in high school than we are death.
I'm
dilly.
closer to death than next year's tax
Ayo.
season. But there's a high school is this Texas?
I believe this is Texas.
They staged a walkout.
Houston, to be exact.
They staged a walkout because the school banned the use of cell phones, and this isn't a new thing.
Yeah, this is James Madison High School in Houston, Texas. And yeah, it seems that they are walking out for cell phone bannage.
I guess it's just harsher cell phone restrictions than they used to have.
But yeah, no, this isn't anything particularly like we had restrictions on phones, and it wasn't cutthroat or anything like that where like there was a lockbox that we had to put our phones in or anything. We could keep our phones in our pockets or in our book bags, but like you had to keep them on silent. You couldn't be on them in class.
Right.
You had to be respectful about it.
You had to attend school still.
Right. You still had to be in school and paying attention. It was like pretty much the line. And so, but I feel like also too, this might be like a specific situation.
Yeah. So the article here, it's where's this from? New York Post?
Yeah.
It really doesn't break down into detail why the ban took place, other than they've seen an increased number of fights in the school.
Yeah, so it says, this is a quote from the principal. The school is currently on lockdown due to the concern over recent fights that have occurred on campus. And this was obtained by the Houston Chronicle. And then, as you know, we communicated yesterday that at the beginning on Monday, students will no longer be allowed to use their cell phones at any time while they're inside school buildings. Cell phones have been at the center of fights that have broken out in our school, he continued.
Okay, so I guess that's the determining factor. They can't use their phones at any time in the building.
Right.
That's a little extreme.
Right.
Because like you said, this isn't a new thing. We've definitely had similar things in high school of, hey, you can't have your phone out unless we're between periods, right?
Right.
And
if you're in the hallways and there's no class going on.
Or a study hall or something like that.
Right.
Because typically, at least in our school, it was if you were on your phone in class or you got caught with your phone or doing something you shouldn't on your phone, they took it till the end of the day and you can go pick it up before you leave for the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming if you're in like elementary or middle school, then your parent would probably have to come pick it up, because that was an issue I never thought about, is having younger kids on phones. But I would assume that's how that works. And that makes sense to me, right? And that seems like the crime fits the punishment of when I'm in history class, I should probably be focusing on history and not on Instagram. I can rationalize that, right? So if you take my phone and I know going into it, that's the punishment, I am in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like 17 and I have to get to work after school and I'm in the hallway and my boss is like, hey, what time are you going to be in, or what can you work?
Right.
I'm going to reply to that text.
Yeah.
And if you take my phone because of it, that's kind of shitty.
Well, yeah, I feel like that's along the same vein as what I was saying before of like, or before we got on, is the point of like, you pay for this. This is your hard-earned device that yeah, it can be a major distraction in classrooms. I don't disagree with that at all. And I think that students should be respectful of their teachers and of their, learning time, and not be on their phones. But also, I paid $1,200 for this thing, or I paid $100 for this thing. That's still your fucking device that you paid money for, that you may have had to, like Style said, work, have to get a job, or you know, like it's kind of, I don't know, that's not their business to be taking that, you know.
When I was in high school, I mean, not every teacher did it, but there were a couple of teachers that had the calculator organizer, that when you walked into their classroom, you had a number and a pouch, and your phone went into that numbered pouch. And then at the end of the class, you got your phone back out, and you were allowed to have your phone in the hallway, just as long as you weren't on your phone in the classroom.
That's for me starting to get to like a prickly area. Like, I don't know if I would do that. So like, if I felt like I needed to have my phone in my pocket for emergency's sake, of like, if I know that I'm trying to be contacted, or just even on the off chance that I might be contacted for an emergency.
Right.
Well, your teachers are people too.
Yeah.
If you go into class that day and you know your mom is having surgery and you want to be able to be contacted, just tell your teacher, hey, today's a little different. Mom's in surgery. They might want to text me.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. And there's probably ways around that, of like, yeah, you can talk to the teacher and be, you know, you are both adults. You can talk about, hey, can I keep my phone on me today? Or can I, you know, I have this special reason that I might need to whatever, X, Y, and Z.
But
the teacher could come back and say, well, your parents can contact the school.
No, but you're banking on an emergency is my issue with that. And so if it's an emergency, you can also have an emergency you're not expecting. So having, my grandma's in the hospital, I'd like to have my phone on me, versus, grandma went to the hospital while I was in school. Either way, I'd like to get that notification. I'm not going to know ahead of time.
Yeah.
You are also...
I think that schools should be allowed to take your phone. I think they should if you're using it in class, not when you're between periods, not if you're in a study hall, not something like that.
I think if
you're in class, they should be able to take it. But I also think
if it's like, you know,
if it's becoming a distraction,
right, right.
But at the same time, if that's going to be a rule in place, you also are going to know that going into it, right?
Yeah.
We all knew that we weren't supposed to have our phones in class.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we're on them, we took that risk of getting it taken.
Right.
You got to have that trade-off.
Right.
You can't also take my phone for no reason when I get into class.
Yeah.
Either this is the rule, and if I break it, you take my phone, or I'm allowed on my phone.
Right.
You can't just take it because it is also a rule.
You're right. That's kind of where I'm like, well, like, who are you to say that I
haven't done anything wrong?
Yeah, I haven't done anything wrong. Why can't you just respect or like trust that I am going to be respectful of you and your time?
Right.
You know?
That's fair.
Because like I lived, you know, I went to the same school as everybody else who got their phones taken away. I didn't though, because I kept my phone in my fucking pocket during class. I just didn't. I minded my P's and Q's, and then as soon as I got, or if I did, like you said, I knew the rules of the game, and I knew that if I took my phone out in class, first I had to be slick with it, and if I wasn't slick with it, my phone might get taken, and that's just a risk that I would have to be willing to take. So,
and listen,
like, you know,
we've been out of school for a while now.
Sure.
But it wasn't that long ago. We still had phones.
Yeah.
We know how the game plays.
Yeah, we lived in that technological era of having to hide tech from...
TikTok was before we graduated.
If this is...
Vine wasn't,
that's
though.
crazy. That's
Vine
crazy.
Vine wasn't, though.
But that's what I'm saying is...
Huh?
Vine wasn't before we graduated.
Yeah, no, we had Vine.
Which is, like, synonymous.
Yeah.
I said that before we graduated. So Vine was before we graduated.
Yes.
And I'm saying we had Vine before we graduated, but not TikTok.
I had TikTok in high school.
We had our last year was like Musical.ly, wasn't it? Wasn't it like when they first got bought out?
Yeah. Sure. I don't know.
I don't even have TikTok now. Regardless, before I got derailed, we know how the game works. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have your phone at all on school. You also shouldn't be getting caught with it where it's being taken like this.
Right.
How bad are you at understanding the task at hand?
Yeah.
Like, I know if I go into 5th period math, I'm not going to be able to be on my phone. So if I want to go to my phone, I'll go to the bathroom and be on my phone. Or I'll be late to class and I'll be on my phone and then think of an excuse of why I was late to class.
Yeah.
There's ways to be on your phone in school that aren't going to get it taken from you.
Right.
I'm not sitting here saying you have to have all phones off all the time, because you probably shouldn't have your phone on in class. However, you shouldn't be that dumb to be like, oh, well, we're walking out because And again, it's on the school in this instance too, because they're saying no phones at all ever.
Yeah, that was the other half of this that I don't know if we necessarily got to.
The walkout.
Yeah, these students have assembled a fucking walkout and are leaving the school.
They used to fight each other. Now they're fighting the school.
Yeah, kind of sick. They are.
For this case, I think I'm pro walkout.
Yeah,
because this is a little extreme.
I think I'm pro walkout. It even said the faculty was punishing the entire student body for the actions of a few students who abused their phone privileges, and a student said, "We have responsibilities. Our moms need to reach us. We need our phones." Valid, all valid.
Now, I'll play devil's advocate for a second, because I don't think, in a perfect reality, right, I don't think we should have phones in school, because we got by for hundreds of years beforehand without having a phone on us in school, right?
Every teacher has a phone in the
Like
classroom.
Jules said, if someone needs to reach out, they can call the school, right?
Mm-hmm.
It used to be if you had a job and you were in school, you told your boss, hey, this is my schedule, this is when I'll be here, and that was just kind of accepted. I think on the flip side of that, a lot of times your employer now are too busy looking at the phone and not busy actually doing things to schedule that they already have and trying to rework things. So it's not so much a school issue. It's just, I think as a society with cell phones in general, it's kind of hurt us in that regard, that we are relying on them too much now.
Yeah.
So in that instance, again, we're not changing anything because it's a societal issue. I don't think you need phones in school in a perfect society. However, we have them now. And I think it's really dense on the school's part to say, oh, well, cell phones are causing fighting because a couple instances of fighting was because of social media. So now no one can ever have them on the property. Or does it say what the punishment is either? Because that's another thing. Are they facing suspension? Are they facing a detention? Are they taking the phone?
I think I saw that it was a $15 fine.
What?
You're fining high school children?
Okay, no, I'm walking out.
Yeah, no, that's a walkout.
Okay. Offenders first would be issued a warning, but second offense would result in confiscation and a $15 administration fee.
I'm taking that to court.
Yeah, no, you can't
That's pretty
steal
crazy.
my personal property and then make me pay you $15.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I started this discussion
cuckoo bananas.
against walkout, and I couldn't be farther on the side of walkout now.
Yeah, I'm not finding specifics on the walkout. That's what I've been looking for, and I'm not finding anything on the specific walkout. But I'm pro walkout on these kids up and leaving.
The $15 fine really gets me on that side.
That's
because I can justify a lot of it. I think it's really dense on the school's part, but I can understand where it's coming from until fining the students for using their phones.
Is this a public school?
It's got to be.
Yeah, I think.
You can't fine public school students.
Yeah, imagine paying tuition to go to school and you're being fined on top of it because you had to take a call from your boss.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's ridiculous. That's crazy. I would walk out. And if I had a kid that was there, they would be going to a different school.
I was going to say, at the start of this, I'm like, okay, well, the parents are probably against the walkout because they're more than likely going to be on the side of don't have your phone on in school.
Right.
Now, I definitely think the parents are probably on the side of the kids of like, you're not paying them $15. Who does it go to? Does it just go to the school?
Does
it
an
go to the teacher?
administration fee,
probably,
so
yeah,
it probably goes
goes
to the...
Someone's
fund.
making money off this. That's my bigger issue.
I think the school is making money off this.
You don't think there's like the superintendent taking a cut?
I mean, that would be illegal.
I think it's illegal to charge the students regardless.
I mean, I don't disagree.
There's got to be a law about that.
That's what I'm saying. You can't charge... Like, most of these kids are minors.
Listen, I remember...
Can you charge a minor if like this?
I remember there being, at least in our school... If you didn't pay like your library or your lunch fee or whatever you owed at the end of the year, they threatened you to not graduate.
Yeah.
Which I remember there's a lot of discussion if that was even allowed to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can do that. If I owe $7 in a lunch fee, I'm not sure you can hold my diploma.
Yeah.
That's a gray area. I haven't looked into that too much since 2018.
I'm walking across that damn...
Right.
Yeah, I'm walking across that podium.
Call me or not. I'm bringing a megaphone for that. But I don't think you can start charging people just because you want to.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Listen, man.
Oh, you're not taking notes? That's a $7 fee. What stops you from charging for anything then?
And I hate to say it, but like teen pregnancy exists. What if one of these kids that's taking a phone call in class is a mom and their kid's like having an issue and now their phone's taken away and they have to pay $15 to because they had an emergency.
They seem the students themselves seem like very just cool with the situation. We're cool staying off our phones in class, but they shouldn't just take it from them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's a quote from.
And I guarantee that a lot of these teachers are different in the way that they enforce this. So they do have the 2-strike rule, but I guarantee some teachers are going to be like, well, no, you're going to have to pay $15 for that. Well, this is my first strike. Well, I don't know that.
I just think the administration is out of touch. Like, how do you come to this rule?
Yeah, dude, they gotta contact the OHSAA or whatever.
The HOA.
Yeah, the HOA.
More on that later. 216-859-8699. Text us if you're in detention. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Pidge, here to remind you that I have another show called Beyond Bounds. This is a show where we discuss controversial philosophical and scientific theories, such as the creation of the universe, wormholes, and other sort of things that you can submit your ideas into the Styles for Radio Discord page under the Beyond Bounds tab. I really think that you guys would enjoy it, and this is a community-based effort, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the future, coming in this next 2024, every other Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
The next time you're hanging out with your buds, why not reach down into your pants and whip it out for them? Let them take a good look at the Live 365 app streaming WSRR Radio 24/7, 365. Download in your app store today.
Hey everyone, Shaney here, the host of that show, Off Air. Check me out 3 p.m. weekdays on WSRR, Styles Rebel Radio.
You're listening to the Rebel Radio Show, legal in 47 states.
I know this isn't what we're talking about, but
let's talk about it anyway.
Yeah, I saw a couple days ago that Buzz Aldrin, I guess, did a bunch of interviews where he said they never went to space.
Hey!
So I was right.
This guy's flipping the whole script. Remember he punched that guy?
Yeah.
Punched the shit out of that
Because he knew too much. Because he did his research and he knew that we've never been to the moon.
Listen,
the moon, not space.
Buzz probably has like a dementia or something like that.
Oh, he's probably free of his NDA from NASA. He's probably allowed to say that we can't go to the moon now. Regardless, if we went to the moon or not, Kentucky's trying to get into space.
Well, space is trying to get... Kentucky's hoping that space tries to get into Kentucky.
That's hot.
Hey.
Yeah, Kentucky wants space.
Inside them.
Yeah.
So
get in here, space. Come on.
Is Kentucky's population that bad?
I guess
they get a population dip. They need aliens.
I'm not sure.
Aliens.
So Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
The city has. I don't know why I had to. Whatever.
For the aliens. It's for the aliens.
For the aliens that are listening to the Rebel Radio Show.
So they decided they were going to put out a tourism ad to space.
That's sick.
So it was basically a laser beam ad that
It was a laser beam.
It's freaking lasers.
They beamed it up, and it says, the first thing you'll notice as you descend through the Earth's atmosphere above central Kentucky is the lush green countryside that surrounds Lexington's vibrant city center. That's our famous bluegrass. It also goes on to describe rolling hills, horse farms, and bourbon before suggesting places to eat, stay, and shop.
Aliens fucking love bourbon, so this is a smart move. Yeah. I think it's been proven. Aliens
love bourbon and shopping.
God, if there's anything I know about aliens, it's those two things.
Bourbon and shopping. They are.
Who's doing this? Who, like,
Kentucky?
I understand. Like, is it the government themselves?
The message was sent with FAA approval.
It's pretty fucking sick.
That's the airplane, guys.
It's pretty sick. You have to get FAA approval, dude.
Because that's airspace.
That's the only way the aliens speak.
True. Through airplanes?
Yes.
Well, and you can't, there's rules against what level of lasers you can point up into the sky.
Right.
And
That's my question is how much money was invested in this ad campaign?
Probably.
This isn't pure Michigan where they got a billboard and a commercial that airs during NASCAR. They're shooting a freaking message into space.
Probably
They
definitely more than a commercial.
That's more than 50,000 watts.
They said they brought together experts in engineering, linguistics, digital media, philosophy,
What?
and science fiction
Philosophy.
to design, debate, and transmit this message.
Dude, imagine being on the philosophy team for this. Yeah, I was on the philosophy team for this laser beam that we shot up into space in the middle of Kentucky.
Imagine showing up day one of work. You're like, oh, the city of Lexington wants me to show up for this government meeting. Okay. Show up with your philosophy books. And they're like, all right, guys, we're talking to aliens. And you're like, what is my role here?
I brought Plato.
Your job is to say, but should we? Imagine your tax dollars going to this if you live in Lexington.
Hey, I mean, I would not be mad.
Oh my goodness. They said that they included a bitmap image, and they said that it was the key to all. The linguistic expert Dr. Andrew Bird said, we included imagery representing the elements of life. Our iconic Lexington rolling hills and molecular structure of our water, bourbon, and even dopamine, because Lexington is fun.
Hey, I'm in.
I hope it works.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I hope that we get aliens right in the middle of Lexington. They're like, we're here for the bourbon and shopping.
I heard there was bourbon.
What's going on, guys?
I know where to stay.
This planet seemed boring as fuck before. Then I heard you had bourbon. We're in.
I like that. My favorite thing about this is right off the bat, they're like, when you pass over Kentucky, they have a map. They know.
Yeah.
Well, they have
It's
a
just
bitmap
known.
image of
Well,
Kentucky.
no, dude.
But you need a map of the United States and the rest of the world.
That's what the United States looks like too when you're
Just
flying
Kentucky?
over it. No, it's like an outline of each state with the name of the state over it.
That's true.
You'd
They'll
be
just
like,
be able to
that
read it.
one's
They're labeled.
Kentucky.
They go, oh,
Yeah,
Kentucky.
they're all labeled with the outlines.
Why aren't we spending money to do that?
I don't know
That's a good
why,
idea.
but the only thing I
Like
thought
a football
of
field.
Yeah, right?
is like, in small towns when they have like the hedges or the bushes that
Yeah.
spell out the name of that town.
let's do that.
Just do that really large across each state.
Yes, it's super easy to do. Super duper easy to do.
Probably cost about as much as Lexington sending this message to space.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. This probably was expensive. This probably was definitely more than a. Here's the flip side of that though. It could have also been like semi like affordable and just like it's a laser. It's not that expensive. It's a fucking laser.
I don't know, man.
Just hired a science
Listen,
department.
Buying airwaves, buying radio space is not cheap.
Valid. Buying literal space.
Yeah. And now you're paying for a strong enough signal to shoot into space
Right.
coherently, constantly.
Yeah. Pretty
A little
awesome.
pop-up
Which-
ad in space.
Want to break from the ants? Which, at the very least, I'll say that I'm for this case because, to my knowledge, right now, the farthest message ever broadcast to space, the message that we have sent to space that reaches the furthest distance and is still going, is when Germany hosted the Olympics under Hitler. That is the farthest, strongest radio signal that was sent to space, to my knowledge.
I almost fist bumped.
So imagine, I like to think about the fact that we could have had aliens here like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, but the first thing they heard was Hitler. And like, this guy,
We gotta
this guy
go.
ain't good. I don't want to
gotta-
be there.
Bomb this whole place.
It's like, you know what? They don't sound like very welcoming
They
people.
don't sound like they want us here. They don't sound like they like other people besides themselves.
Even if it wasn't Hitler, German's the first thing you're going to hear. It's not a very
Yeah.
appealing language to hear first.
Yeah, kind of just sounds
It's not
like
a very romantic language.
puking.
Yeah.
So this message will take approximately 40 years
To get to the aliens?
intended target.
To get to the aliens.
I hope
And
it's worth
then
it.
Another 40 to receive any response.
Well, I hope Lexington plans for the next 80 years.
Well, wait, hold on. Let's backpedal. What the hell is the intended target? Let's
They
let's
know.
go there.
They know the intended target.
Fuck the laser beams. Fuck the message. Let's just go. We can send people. I'm sure that there are people willing. I'll fucking do it.
That means somebody on this team of scientists they brought in got paid to be like, all right, where do we send it?
Yeah.
And he's like, this is probably a good spot.
Yeah, let's just go right here. Points on like a huge space chart, right specifically there.
That's where we've seen the most results.
Yeah, I just figured, that's where the data shows in my line of work. Don't question it at all, please.
Like, the big
and how would
disc.
you?
Yeah.
They have like the big disc picture of the galaxy, and he's just like, I don't know, there.
Yeah, right, specifically there.
That dude made out in this deal. Him and the philosopher.
yeah,
Easy
they made
payday.
They made out easy.
Meanwhile, people are about to have crippling depression in Lexington because they have socioeconomic downturn because of the space radio.
The taxes that they had to pay to spend to send lasers to space.
That's all I can think about is like the next school board meeting in Lexington. And it's like, well, maybe if we didn't spend $50,000 to send a radio ad to space for the next 40 years.
Why didn't the laser say, go Red Wolves? What the fuck?
Listen, pal, my radio waves will never say go Red Wolves. I really hope for the next 80 years, Lexington is just devoted to making them appealing to space travel. They have 80 years to make this the most appealing place for aliens. They better buckle down and do their research.
Lexington is super futuristic and like alienized.
They cannot be future realistic because they have to remain strong to their bluegrass, their rolling hills.
Those.
They can still have those.
Yeah, they just got to update the rest of the city.
Bourbon and the places to
as long
eat
as they
and
have eating and shopping and bourbon and grass, they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, I think it's sick. I hope that it happens sooner rather than later, and they're just like, "Oh shit, you guys actually can't? How did you? We didn't even."
Instead of just sending a response,
they're like, "Yeah, we were only 10 years. We were only 10 light years away, so we heard it pretty quick."
We got a really good receiver.
Yeah. We just figured we'd hop on by. Like, oh well, okay.
We weren't ready for you.
The mayor of Lexington's like, okay, well,
you got any money?
You like, bourbon?
They were zooming past and they got interference on their radio.
Yeah. their FM transceiver was setting static and like, what is this dial doing?
and
then they're like, Lexington, Kentucky. And they're like, oh.
The alien was driving the spaceship and, what the fuck's that in my eye? It's that light in my eye. Let's go figure out what that light is. The hell are you guys doing shining a light? Fuck you.
No, it's like when they taught E.T. how to talk. Those are the first English words these aliens are going to hear. So they're going to show up in Kentucky and go, bourbon.
Bourbon.
That's all they're going to know how to say.
Rolling hills.
We're just going to have drunk-ass aliens in Kentucky.
Grass.
Damn.
Why is the grass not blue?
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't send them to Kentucky first. Maybe we should focus on other places targeting aliens for space travel.
We have so many issues.
Intercontinental travel.
We can't even keep Walmart open 24/7 anymore.
Yeah,
we got to lock up our underwear and razors there. No, let's build robots and have AI and talk to aliens and invite them to Kentucky.
Aliens find out that Walmart's not 24/7 anymore.
It's gonna ruin them.
They're bouncing.
Why would you even go to Kentucky?
What city do you think is going to be next for the extraterrestrial tourism ads?
What is next to Lexington?
Lexington.
What is next to Lexington? What's the next city over?
Vegas.
Ooh.
That's not the next city over.
That was the first city. Nevada in general as a state already conquered.
They already do.
That's true.
Try to contact aliens.
The aliens already know that they're there.
That's very true.
There's a whole area there. 51 of them.
Well, then I'd say like the big states.
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Like you're gonna get Florida, Texas, California, New York. I feel like those people are contacting aliens. Hey, come to New York. Fuck around and find out.
We're just gonna have light beams on each.
If you don't think it's gonna be Bismarck, South Dakota, then you're sorely mistaken.
Dude, Bismarck-y.
Bismarck loves aliens, and aliens love Bismarck. It's proven. I talked to a guy. He showed me exactly where they were. We had bourbon. There was a philosopher there.
I love how they just assume like.
It's just a meme, though. It's not. This is like wasting advertising money.
This is wasting a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. If I live in Lexington, I'm pissed.
Yeah, this is wasting a lot of money, Lexington.
Lexington, 216-859-8699. Shoot me a text. I don't have bourbon, but it is free.
The Artificial Intelligence Podcast is the only show written, voiced, and scored entirely by AI. All episodes are available now on stylesrebelradio.com.
Everybody, this is the Pidge, and I'm here to tell you that I hate everything that you send me, but I love it at the same time because holy shit. That's all I gotta say to that. If you guys don't know me, I'm the Pidge, and I'm one of the members of the Styles Rebel Radio page. You probably won't hear me as much on the Rebel podcast because I'm away in Arizona, but every month I come out with the show. Submit your stuff into the Styles Rebel Radio Discord page under the Pigeonhole section, and it will be featured on the next show. Unless there's racial slurs. See ya.
Hey, Style here to remind you that StylesRebelRadio.com is a group of free content creators, and because of that, you may have noticed that we don't do a lot of ad spots between our breaks, and that's intentional. We're not here to shill out to off-brand cereal or promote crappy mobile games. We strive to give you quality, professional content without the repetitive marketing. That being said, if you like what we do and want to support the shows, you can always click the link in the Spotify description to help support us for as little as 99 cents a month. Now back to the broadcast.
Sure do wish I had 25 million on me right now.
Shirts, shoes, service. I don't know.
That was a good segue. I appreciate that one.
No, I was just, yeah. I'm just, hey, everyone.
What is the first
Just
thing you would do?
freestyling there?
Yeah.
What's the first thing you would do if you had 25 million?
Probably split it up into 15 different transactions and 5 different bank accounts.
Nice.
I would buy pants.
Did you shit yours?
Yes.
Outside of PacSun.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I fucking knew you were at the mall.
Yeah.
I knew it. I could smell it a mile away.
Buying pants, dude. I can't be stopped. Every store. Pants. Okay, sorry.
Listen, there's a dude in Hong Kong. Well, I don't know if he's in Hong Kong, but there's a dude who tricked a CFO in Hong Kong into giving him $25 million because of deepfakes.
I guess he doesn't necessarily have to be in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I just put that together. I'm
He
gonna
could be
read
anywhere.
the title.
Yeah.
Deepfake CFO tricked Hong Kong biz out of 25 million.
I love that they use biz.
Yeah. What site is this?
So, records of a past vid check.
Theregister.com?
Source of fakery. And so, from what I have gathered, one of the staff members that I'm assuming was also in this video call is saying, I believe a fraudster downloaded videos in advance and then used artificial intelligence to add fake voices to use the video conference.
I had
And
to double check that was an actual quote, that this man said fraudster and it was
no,
quoted.
he said fraudster, bro. He
Fantastic.
said fraudster.
I
I
love
wouldn't.
that.
I wish I made that up.
Watch
but
out
I didn't.
for fraudsters,
You
guys.
gotta watch out for them fucking fraudsters, dude. They'll come for you.
Oh, yeah?
So yeah, all agree that the AI generated human appeared, and that sadly the unnamed finance professional was duped. That reality was only discovered by the victim after he contacted the the head office of the other corporations.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna try and break this down, right?
Right.
Break it down.
Two companies that are supposed to be talking.
Mm-hmm.
One guy posing as company A, just some guy with deepfake technology,
Ayo.
makes a deepfake CGI AI render of the company he's pretending to be CFO.
Yes.
Gets on a video call with the other company's CFO or finance manager
Mm-hmm.
and plays this video essentially to make it look like they're video chatting, in which he makes the AI generated fake businessman ask for $25 million in deposits to be made to this company, to which the finance man at company B says, sounds legit to me, and sends over the money.
I mean, hey man, you're in a video call with that person. I'm assuming that I'm in a fucking video call. I'm not assuming that I'm talking to like AI Jim.
It's
In several smaller transactions.
that's the 2024 according to Jim spinoff.
Yeah.
AI Jim.
I wonder, so he created the video, right? Did he have any way of like altering what the video said during the process?
So the AI generated videos were reportedly created from past genuine online conferences.
Interesting.
To add depth and credibility to the scam. The perpetrators utilized WhatsApp, email, and one-to-one video conference with the Hong Kong staff members.
So this is well thought out. Like this guy knew the CFO.
Again, I think it's one of those situations of feeding the AI data and then the AI spitting out what you tell it with that data that you gave it.
This was not a one and done. This dude spent time doing this.
Yes.
He had this well thought out.
Right.
What I'm wondering is...
I mean, you got to. If it's... Because they said the fake CFO made increasingly urgent entries to execute money transfers, and the victims complied with the instructions given during the call, eventually making 15 transfers into 5 local bank accounts. So, like, it was...
That means he more than likely opened bank accounts with a fake name?
I would have to assume.
Because he's probably not attaching his real name to these, right?
I would have to assume.
That's crazy. That's insane to me.
It was definitely I mean, to do 25 mil, you have to have a well thought out plan, you know?
All I can think about, like, I keep coming back to this is, and this happened at several jobs, but you get these emails or you get some kind of bulletin at your work, typically a couple times a year. That's like, watch out for this new scam. That's someone posing as... I used to work at GameStop. I'll use this for an example.
Sure.
Probably twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, we'd get the boss or the head guy, the regional manager coming in saying, hey guys, this is the new scam they've been operating. And there's usually an email and a printout attached. And it's like, here's what they're saying. They're pretending to be this guy at this location. And they're asking for this kind of transfer or this kind of Bitcoin transfer. And my first thought is always, I've never spoken to anyone at any store who has asked me for money.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I understand that scams are a real thing. And, like, it's a terrible thing that occurs. And I understand how the process works for a lot of these, for Social Security scams or Amazon or things like that. That I can rationalize. I could never understand. And we'd get these emails solely because people would fall for them. It'd be like, hey, someone at this location just lost this much money. And all I could ever think about is, how do you not think that's a scam while it's going on? Of like, hey, I know you don't know me, but I'm the higher up at this location. I'm going to need you to send me some money. How do you not check with your boss? How do you not think that's suspicious?
There was a situation I read about a couple of days ago where a man bought a just like a regular blackout vest and walked into a Walmart and said that he was a part of the company that takes their deposits.
Oh, wow.
He walked out with $22,000.
Wow.
When asked, the employees were like, well, he looked like the guys that come and pick it up, but he had no tag. He had nothing on his vest that said the company's name that usually picks it up. It's just, I think people aren't asking the right questions.
I said this, and I'm pretty sure I said it when I worked at GameStop. One of these happened. We had like a meeting or something the following week, not because of that, but it was brought up. And we talked about fucking security protocol for this shit. And I very vividly remember my boss at the time asking me if anyone had any ideas for security protocol. And I said, why are we not firing these people? Why is, if you are an employee and you're just letting someone take your money, you need to be fired. If you're being duped into that, you need to be fired. You're the issue.
No, that's a good point.
And when it comes to this situation, what I asked before is if he could alter the conversation that the video was getting into. How did he know these responses, and how was he able to just take over the conversation and not...
Well, yeah, that's what's super interesting to me.
Because this was a live conversation.
That means he had to have a lot of
he pre-predicted
stuff.
these answers to.
It's a group call, too.
Yeah.
Like,
no one noticed.
Yeah, right. There's multiple people in this video chat. It's not just 2 people. It's like, you could assume probably like 6 or 6 plus. So, like, it's just very baffling to me that all of this, it worked as well as it did at all the steps that it needed to work, you know?
I'm not saying this guy isn't the criminal. He's very clearly the criminal here. He needs to be prosecuted. Everyone in that call needs some kind of reprimanding.
They need some kind of training.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they were quoted in saying that something
he's
seemed
a fraudster.
off.
Yeah.
He's a fraudster. Something seems a little fishy.
I will say, to my point, with the spam emails and calls and stuff like that, this is a next step I wouldn't typically think of. I'll give them that. They went the extra step to be like, okay, well, no one's going to fall for an email or a phone call asking for crypto or deposits.
Right.
I'll give the guy this. He at least put the time and effort to be like, okay, new way to scam people. I'm just going to make the CFO say things. I could see how that would work.
That's like our big worry, but on a smaller scale of like using global figures or yourself or something like that in AI is like a really scary and very real thought of like people could get duped for that. This is kind of like, I feel like criminals hear that sort of sentiment and are like, oh, okay, let's dial it down a little bit and see what I can get away with.
Right.
You know?
The thought process in this is, I feel like, if anything, they imagined that as soon as the CFO started speaking whatever words that they told it to say,
right,
he was going to take over the meeting because everybody's going to listen to the CFO. Nobody's going to question the CFO.
Right.
He looks like the CFO, speaks like the CFO. Why are they going to just not think this is the CFO?
I understand it was a group call. There are multiple people here. And again, we got to remember, this isn't the CFO of this company. Yeah. It's a different company.
Yeah.
So like,
it's their sister company.
Regardless though, if I'm the finance guy at company B, he's the one that needs fired of anyone. Yeah. He's not at any point in this going, okay, well, why am I doing this?
Yeah, this seems
Shouldn't you check with someone else before you send over $25 million in 15 different transactions? Seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Seems like he wasn't very good at his job.
That's a lot of paperwork where he could have stopped and asked some questions.
Yeah.
It's
sending it to a guy he's never heard of, assumingly, too.
So crazy to me that it's in conference calls, like multiple people, and it gets by every single one of them. I'm assuming that this is a thing that they do, you know, like this probably happens to other businesses in other conference calls.
It's terrifying.
Right.
It reminds me, there's an old stand-up bit from a couple years ago. I don't remember the guy's name, but it reminds me of it. He got a wrong number call. He picks up the call and answers it, and they think it's a guy named Jim or something like that. And so he's like, well, I became Jim. I started talking about figures and the budget, and they're asking me why the budget's under $5,000. And so he's bullshitting this whole story about the budget, and he's making up people's names and stuff like that.
Right.
And it goes on for like 2 months. And then he gets put into a conference call with like 3 of the other people he's been talking to, pretending to be this finance guy. And it takes all of them to realize it's not actually the guy who works there, and they've been doing this for 2 months.
Yeah.
And that's a comedy bit. This dude took that and ran with it. He's like, you know what? That's a good idea.
Let's do it for real.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing for real.
Let's get the budget.
It
got it.
It
worked.
Yeah, it worked. I mean,
to your point from earlier, it always brings up that thought in my mind of, we're this close to having someone make a deep fake of Joe Biden or Kim Jong-un or some other political leader, make a deep fake of them declaring war on another nation.
Right.
Yeah.
And all it takes is whoever the leader is of that nation
to believe
not to be convinced that it's AI.
Right.
That's all it takes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's scary. I don't think that the people were caught either. Like, I think that nothing came of it. Like, I think that's just like, oh, they got
25 million out of this.
They got yoinked. Because it doesn't say anything in this article about them catching the...
No, other than when they figured out they were being scammed because they talked to the CFO that was being deepfaked.
Yeah, they have not caught the fraudster. They'll never be able to catch the fraudster.
Recordings of past video chats suspected as the source of fake. Yeah, no, it doesn't say that they were caught, or at least it doesn't name who was doing it.
Right.
This person had to be like...
He had to work there or work closely with them. Like, he clearly was able to get the video files of the CFO.
I don't know. I think that if you're good enough with hacking and computers and like real hacking, I think that you can probably be in anybody and just
be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, right. I've seen videos of people in jail cells, like hackers in jail cells who will hack their tablets and get like free Wi-Fi and shit, whatever. It's like, I think hackers are super powerful when it comes to computers.
I'm just thinking, they knew the CFO's name. It says they pulled videos from former chats.
Right.
So like, he had to have either been in these or had access to them.
I would assume he got access somehow.
So like, interesting move. And also, if I'm this guy or someone close to this guy, I'm going for round 2. it seems like if they didn't catch him and he got away with his money, I'm doing it again.
Yeah, I'm doing it
We'll
again.
see how good their memo was about cybersecurity.
Right.
I'm testing it. I'm pushing that boundary again.
It's so weird that like they report that the Hong Konger joined the video chat in which his CFO appeared, but appeared a little off. So much so that the employee was initially suspicious, but his nerves were soothed as the other colleagues he recognized appeared joining to the call.
Again, you should be fired.
That's
if
so
you're not
crazy.
even like consulting with even anyone else in the chat, even if you're not like making a side message to Brian and being like, "Hey, does that look weird?"
Right. You can send a private message. Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Right.
You don't even have to talk to your boss. You should have, but you didn't even have to talk to your boss. That's crazy.
It's just a very like again, they happen to check all the boxes at the right time that they needed to have this work so flawlessly.
I think they were lucky that they got someone so incompetent on the other end.
Right. I think it's a lot of it's a lot of luck and a lot of hitting the right voice.
Yeah.
You know,
just having a freaking stream deck of clips.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how he did, because it's a video of this person. I wonder, because they had to have
pre-recorded shit.
Or
yeah.
just not pre-recorded, but I was just
I'm going to put it this way for you. I'm going to put it this way for you. It's like Talking Tom.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They have all of the facial movements already for all of the things that they have ready to go. And they can just go, okay, well, this is the response to that. Throw it in there.
They had to work there because they had to know how this meeting was going to go.
Or they had to have a lot of the previous videos and could just throw that into an AI generator and be like,
this is how the meeting's going to go. Say these things at these times and make it believable.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
People are crazy with what they can do.
People are fucking crazy. I think like the computer hacker, like evil, scary computer people are becoming, I mean, they already were super dangerous. Look at all these like Sony, Microsoft hacks that are, you know, it's going to be like that, but on a grander scale and like it's going to look more real now. You know, we're going to see videos and shit, and we, the people, are going to have to decipher.
Listen,
like,
I watched a video the other day that cyber hostages are a thing now. Do you guys know about this?
No.
So like a ransomware, and there's like a couple of big ones, but like a ransomware company the one I watched was about a law firm.
Mm-hmm.
So they hacked into a law firm's database, and what they did was they encrypted all of their documents they had for all of their clients and left a message on their computer that said, hey, we've encrypted all your documents. The only way to get the encryption key is through us.
Wow.
If you don't comply within this many hours, we'll delete them. Here's the amount we want. Make it payable to this.
Wow.
They did that on Grey's Anatomy.
That's an insane thing.
Right.
And again, what are you going to do?
Right.
You either lose all your shit or you pay them. And so this guy hired Day Zero on YouTube. I forget what his company is. Or 0 Day, my bad. And he went in, he just negotiated with, he didn't even like, you can't unencrypt it. You can't get the data back.
Right.
So like this dude, and again, at that point, you're risking the leak of all of your clients' information too, and their personal information.
Right.
So like he literally just negotiated with them for a lower price, and he still had to pay him.
Yeah, dude. Hackers and that shit is really, really dangerous. And I feel like what's scary is to them, it's super easy.
Yeah.
And like they make it look like a walk in the park.
Yeah.
And that is what they're like.
It's just a completely different language to you.
It's literally just a dude behind a screen. Like it's exactly what you thought it was.
With his hot Cheeto fingers.
Right. Like, it's exactly what you thought it was, and it's working exactly like you thought it would.
Right.
You know, like they're coming for you now.
Yeah. So like things like that are terrifying. Even like to a degree, the Social Security scams and the Amazon scams, things like that should be very cautious and taken cautiously, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, I know this is out of our target demo. If you don't know, the IRS or Amazon or anyone else isn't going to ask you for Google gift cards. Just throwing that out there.
Right.
Never pay any kind of bills and gift cards. It's not a thing that happens.
Not a real
nor
thing.
Wire transfers through Western Union or any kind of Bitcoin. It's not a thing. That being said, this is a scary new tactic.
Yeah, right. Imagine getting or your grandma or whatever getting a phone call and it's your voice being like, "Hi, I need $1 million,"
right?
Or you know, whatever. Like,
hey, grandma.
Yeah.
Imagine someone you know, like your buddy owns a business and he FaceTimes you and it's not him.
Right.
and he's asking, hey, can you loan me a couple grand? I'm in this kind of trouble of taxes or whatever.
Right.
That's an insane thing.
Right.
That's an insane thing.
Right.
Because again, this is a new experience. We've been around for the email scams and the shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've been around for people's Facebooks being hacked and asking for money. We know how that game works. I related to the work emails about cybersecurity. And again, I don't know how you fall for that. I think you're at fault if you fall for it. It's a weird concept to me that anyone would think someone higher up that you've never met would be asking you to transfer money.
Yeah, right.
Why wouldn't you consult with your boss?
Right.
The same instance applies here of why wouldn't you consult with someone first? But I will give them the benefit of the doubt of, I wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't expect this.
Right.
I wouldn't expect to see somebody that I know that I've done business with and is seemingly answering the questions that I'm presenting.
Here's it's so new.
Yeah.
And that's why. Like in 10, 15 years, people will probably be a little bit more conditioned for shit like this. But right now, it's so new. And I think that's why it's so like doable. That's why it's so easy for them. Because it's like, okay, well, we'll just make the face model say exactly. We'll just feed his voice and his mannerisms into this AI, and it'll poop out him, and it'll say exactly what we want him to say. Like super easy.
I think
is this fall under identity theft?
Probably.
Again, with the AI porn shit, it's like
it could be fraud, identity theft. I don't know.
I mean, it is illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just crazy. Because again, I keep coming back. It's not something you think about.
It's new. It's brand. This AI deepfaking video shit is
I think
under 2 years, 3 years old.
Where you're coming from, that's exactly why this all works.
Right.
Because people aren't expecting it.
Right. People aren't expecting it. It's new. We don't know how to
identify it.
These are new obstacles that we're having to jump over that we've never had to jump over before.
I mean, my mom texted me the other day and asked me, what is AI?
Right. Dude,
so,
it's spreading.
like,
the word's spreading. Word's getting around. AI is a thing, and we cannot stop it.
And we can't escape it.
The growth is exponentiating.
They're just going to think, and I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before, but scammers are just going to think about new ways to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, this is probably that next evolution. We're probably going to see a lot more of this.
That's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, there's a one that, I'm not going to lie, it almost gets me every time I see it. And it's with the Styles Rebel Radio Facebook page. Someone will make a Facebook page and call it like meta copyright support or something like that. And it's just a page, but it'll be like meta copyright support has flagged your video for this, this, and this. And it really all it is just like a big ass post they made about why you violated copyright. And then they tagged a bunch of people in the comments and hid the comments. But like, they put their picture as like one of the support icon tools and shit like that. And they have a link that takes you to fill out your information, your password. And I'm like, that's a really schemy way that probably half these people just fell for putting their information in because they think their content's being taken down.
Right.
I hate when the scammers tag you and stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the most annoying for me.
Yeah. I know every time we post something, there's some kind of Indian call center scammer who wants to promote your podcast for free.
Yeah.
See exponential growth.
Yeah. I always thought it was so strange getting DMs being like, promote our business. Like, how do you,
ghost jewelry or whatever?
Yeah, right. Like, why, how does that actually work? How does that,
we think you'd be a great model for our product.
What's the end goal of that? what are they trying to get out of you? Because they're sending
the model ones I think are scary, and I always go more towards like sexual trafficking.
Oh,
and that type of stuff.
Probably. That's a very valid point.
You guys are playing Little League. I had the Illuminati DM me. I don't even.
That's right. You asked them for sushi.
Yeah, they wouldn't give me sushi. They didn't let me in. So
directly.
Until the Illuminati's DMing you, I don't want to hear about your Little League scams, kids. You can fall for your Social Security victims and Verizon bills. The Illuminati's been trying to recruit me for years now, and they just won't give me the sushi. 216-859-8699. That's 216-859-8699 is the number to text in. If you want us to promote your podcast, we do very good job. Big numbers.
Very good job. Big number free.
Please message.
Please message DM.
Rebel Radio Show. We'll be back after this. 216-859-8699. That's 216-859-8699. You can send us a text or leave us a voicemail. You can also leave a voicemail for any of the great artists you hear on WSRR Radio. We're the home of underground music, saving local and independent music scene. Leave them a voicemail. You can hear it played back on air as well. Again, that's 216-859-8699. The Rebel Radio Show is live every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern right here, and then 10 a.m. every Wednesday in podcast form, and then 5 p.m. again Tuesday through Friday for the Rebel replays. You can get a whole bunch of assortments of episodes there. We have a whole bunch of other programming and recasts as well on WSRR Radio on our homepage, stylesrebelradio.com. A bunch of shows that come out every month. Tomorrow we have an episode of Off Air coming out, that's Shanice's podcast. Chicka chicka yeah. As well as the Pigeonhole, Beyond Bounds, AIP, a whole bunch of great content there. Of course, stylesrebelradio.com is your homepage for all of that, as well as showtime schedules and more. Make sure you're downloading the Live 365 app to take us with you wherever you go, all around the world. Pair us with your stereo, your car stereo, your Bluetooth speaker, headphones, anything that connects to the internet connects you to Styles Rebel Radio. That's WSRR Radio on Live 365. Until next time, I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Styles. To my right is Shani.
Bye, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Adios.
Peace.